So you want to be a shop owner? Well, welcome to Troy Gaming TV's Business School for the Financially Challenged. It's just like Wharton, but for the cool kids and much less money. So, as the premier business owner, since I set this little shop up about 30 minutes ago, I'm going to bestow upon you everything you need to know to run a successful shop in Once Human. We'll go over where to set up shop, because as we all know, location, location, location. We'll talk about how to build and design it, and I'll show you how I built this little shop that I'm sitting in right now. We'll go over how to create listings and sell all of your items. Then we'll go over the really important stuff. What to sell, popular categories, common pricing, because it's one thing to be able to sell things, but if you don't know what to list it for, then you're not going to be able to sell pretty well. And then finally, if you stay to the end, I'll show you some of the creative and cool shops I found while researching prices and tell you why I think each one of them makes a great shop. So let's get started. So let's talk about where to set up our vending machine. And although you may be tempted to set it up at your house, you can do that, but you're probably not going to get a lot of traffic. So right now, the best place to set up your vendor is going to be in Blackfell. Now, when it comes to the next season, if we're no longer in season 1 when you're viewing this, it's basically going to be whatever the end game zone is, or whatever zone most people are at. So like in the beginning, you probably want to set it up the first or the second town, and then the third and the fourth as things progress. But eventually, when everybody starts to get to end game, the best place to set it up is going to be in the town. So here you can see we have a bunch of vendors. So what people will be doing is they're going to be hitting these switch to world, and they're basically going to be hopping between worlds to try to see the vendors. So whatever's closest to this is going to get the most traffic. Now, if you cannot get your vending machine into this area, the next best place is going to be out front. So if I go out here, we should see a bunch of vendors. So boom. This will be the second best place that you can set up your shop. Now let's talk about how to get in there. Alright, so to get in here takes a lot of perseverance. I basically had to push past these two trucks here and then push up against this truck, and if you keep pressing forward, you are eventually gonna get in. And of course, that was a motorcycle blocking me. Sorry, Josh. Sorry, Chris. And we made it in. Now, boom. So once we have our vehicle in the actual town, we can go into build mode. And this is where we start constructing our actual build. So now I want to bring the parts over. But the hard work is done. We are in. We are in. So that place looks better than mine. But did you see which one they visited at first? I've been sitting here for a little bit, and what I've noticed is anybody that's been coming through for these shop things, they see my shop and they come straight for it. And then once they're finished with mine, then they start to check the others. So I think we're winning. I think we're winning. So to set up your vendor pricing, what you want to do is you go into your vendor, you find the item that you want to sell, and then once you find the item, you click on the item, and then it's going to bring up a menu, and here you'll set up whether you want to do Energy Link, you'll set your price, and then you'll go ahead and click the F list for sale, and now you have your item listed, and you'll basically just go through and do the same thing. Now, I recommend doing Energy Link, but you do have the option, if you wanted to go ahead and do a trade. So you can set it up like, this is the product that I have to sell, this is the currency that I'm going to take instead of Energy Link. Like, say you want to sell these bags for 100 asset. You can also set that up. You would just change the drop down from Energy Link to the other setting for trading. So I think that selling stuff with Energy Link is the way to do it. Just because everyone sells stuff on Energy Link, and it's a lot easier than people coming through, you know, having to have asset on them to buy something. So you just sell it for Energy Link, then you take the Energy Link you earned, and then you go ahead and buy asset from someone else. So again, I think that that is the proper way to price things in the market. Okay, so let's talk about pricing. Because in order to have a successful shop, you have to know how to price your items. Now, even if you're not going to set up a shop, this chart that I made, or this Excel, is really good for understanding what the general prices are. Now, in order to get these prices, I went to multiple servers and I checked probably hundreds of vendors on every single layer. So this took a while. But we'll start off with some tips. First tip, make it easy to get to. So you want to be able to get up, you want people to be able to get up in your shop, pretty easy. The second one, make it look good. The more it stands out, the quicker someone will go to yours over someone else's. Sell what people want. So I'm going to give you a list of different things that I think are good. So these are items that people are out there looking for. Now there's other items like food that I did not list, but I can tell you that people do look for food. You know, if they're going into like a prime war, or if they're going into a regular PvP war, or they're going to do a pro mode, sometimes they'll want to go out and get some extra, you know, buffs and stuff like that. So feel free, but I did not put the pricing there. The next thing is be competitive. You want to be competitive in your pricing. So just because I may recommend a certain price, if you have other vendors in your area that are selling them cheaper, then you may need to bring your price down. Now, as an example, silver, I am selling for, or not silver, sorry. As an example, I was selling the gravel and goes, and I have them selling for 5,000, and the guy next to me has them selling for 3,000. But people went to my shop first, and I ended up selling them. So, you know, I got lucky, but I should probably keep my prices, you know, generally around theirs. But if you follow all the steps and you build something nice where people are going to come to you first, then hey, maybe you're going to get that higher price sale. And then make sure that it's in a prime location, that being in, you know, whatever town is the most popular at the time. And then if you really want to go that extra mile, you're going to include a sign, tell people what you have. So like a lot of people look for acid. So if you have acid in your shop, you know, put down on the sign acid and maybe the price, so that when people are running by, maybe they weren't going to go shop, but they see acid there for a decent price, so maybe they'll stop by your shop and buy anyway. So that's for people that are like leaving town that you know, generally aren't going to shop, but you've given them a value proposition and now they're going to shop. Okay, so with the tips out of the way, let's talk about popular vendor items. So I've broke these down into a few different categories. We have vendor sell items. Now these are items that you can create, that you can then go and sell to vendors to make a lot of money. And if you're wondering about other ways to get rich, make sure you check out my video on how to make money, and it goes over how to sell these vendor items and things like that. The next thing we're talking about is deviant items. These are different materials that if you have a certain deviant, they'll make, and then you can go ahead and make products with it and then sell them to the general public. And then we have materials. These are just basic materials that people use for crafting. They don't want to go out and farm, so they'll come and they'll buy your materials. Then we'll go over mimetic specializations. So every time you unlock a mimetic specialization, you have a chance of getting something. So you're not going to be able to have everything, which means you're going to have to rely on other people if you want some stuff. This entire project for this video started off because I needed a backpack extension and I couldn't find one. And I'm like, you know what? Let me make a video on vendors because I was spending a lot of time running all over looking for backpack extensions. So those are mimetic specializations. And then finally, blueprints. There's weapon blueprints, furniture blueprints. So one of the things is I know they have the table, and I created a whole video on furniture, so you can check that out as well. But it kind of goes over the table that you have that you can break down your extra furniture formulas. Well, that's not always guaranteed to give you something new. I think you can make a lot more money selling your furniture blueprints through your vendor. So that's another thing. And then also the new memory fragments that they just added, another great way to make some money. So for vendor sell items, we've got silver, gold, and then we've got the ore versions of those, combo chips, rare crystal chip sets. These are all things that you can sell to vendors for like 6 or 12K, minus the ore. The ore you'd have to smelt it yourself, so that's not going to be as popular, but maybe if you sell it a little bit cheaper or someone needs just a little bit more, they may purchase it. So silver, I'd recommend 4K, gold 8K, silver bars 275, that'll come out to about 41.25 per bar, so a little bit more than if they were to buy the bar straight out. Gold ore 300, that comes out to 9,000. You still want to make it profitable. Like I saw some person selling gold for like 10,000, and it's like, hey, if you sell it for 10,000, they're not making a lot of profit. They're only making 2K profit. So you want to allow people to make profit so that they'll buy it from you. You know, if they don't have silver or gold, this is a quick way for them to flip. Basically, we'll say, you know, 4,000 for a silver bar into 6,000 at the vendor, 2K profit. You know, so that's the value propositions here for that. The same thing, combo chipsets and rare chipsets, I recommend 8. So basically anything where they're gonna, you know, sell it for 12, I recommend 8. If they're gonna sell it for 6, I recommend 4. Everybody wins. Deviant items, some popular ones, fusion lighters, I'd sell for 1,000. Living armor, I'd sell for 1,000. Spring legs, I sell for 1,000. I've seen them go way cheaper. I've seen them go much more. I think 1,000's a good price. Most people can afford that, especially in the end game. For materials, you have Stardust, Source, I've seen usually around 50. Acid, 75 is a good target. Premium Fuel, 1,000. The Morel Seeds or Morel Seeds, those you can only buy, I think, like 3 from the vendor, and then you have to basically plant them. So that item is a little bit harder to get. So I'd price that higher, like say 20K. Stardust ore, 100, and then going into the mimetic specializations. So here, things that people are going to pick the most aren't going to sell for the most. So it's those rare ones, you know, as long as they have value, that people are going to buy. So I've seen solar drills, I'd say 15K, spectral cloaks, 15K, that's for PvP. Gravel and goes, 5K, a lot of people have those, so there's not going to be a lot of demand. Portable diving gear, 5K, just because it doesn't really have a lot of, you know, need. Backpack extensions, 15K. I mean, on my server, I could have sold it for 50K because I ended up not finding any on the entire server. I had to have a friend make it. But yeah, again, it just depends on, you know, what's available on your server. Chef's knife, 15K. Portable rainwater collector, like 5K. Silver pickaxe, 10K. Electronics grabber, probably like 3K, just because it doesn't really add a lot of value. And then the things that are going to have the craziest amount of swing in price are going to be like weapon blueprints, because if it's something like really good like GG, you want to sell that for like 100K. If it's something that you're just trying to get rid of, it's got okay, decent stats or whatever, I'd probably sell that for like 15 or 20K. So I'd say on average, I'd probably put them in for like 15, 20K. If it's like good, I'd say 50, 75. And if it's like the best, like 100K. Furniture formulas, I think a lot of people really want furniture formulas. I don't think I saw maybe one the entire time across all the servers and all the things. I would start those at like 50K. I think people that like furniture like myself and probably a lot of the viewers to my channel will be willing to pay 50K for furniture or even more, you know, if it's something that's rare. And then memory fragments. These are new memory fragments that are used for the memetics. I would say price those high. Just because they're so rare right now. I've seen them go anywhere from like 50 to 95K, so I think anywhere in there is a good set. So those are popular vendor items. Those are things that you'll probably want to sell. Those are prices that I've seen for the low, for the high, and I went through all the different recommendations. So if you want to pause this video, take a screenshot, you'll have it for the future and going through. And hey, in the comments below, if some of this pricing is off on your server, let me know. But what I did notice going between the different servers is that the prices seem pretty standard, and I have no idea how that happens, but it does. So moving on to the next thing. So now we'll take a look at some example shops, and I'll tell you what I think makes each one of them special. Here is an interesting one. It's like a rocket ship. So I definitely give this dude A for effort when it comes to being creative. That is pretty cool. Here is the ultimate shop. I love this. This is so far, this is probably the nicest one that I've seen. From a design standpoint. Yeah, it just looks great. This is a nice simple design. You can see he's got the lights to kind of make it stand out. The 24-hour sign, which I like. Nice wallpaper. It tells me exactly what he has to sell. Looks pretty good inside. Nice and lit up. And solar drills. Just like listed. So this is a nice setup that they have here. I mean, nothing looks great, but they have the right idea of stacking as many as possible, because what that means is now this world will become popular. So I'd say that if you were looking to do a vending machine, one of the things that you probably want to do is find out where there's a bunch and add to it. That way it becomes kind of like a little shopping mall. Pretty cool. It's intriguing. It'll make someone come in and check it out for sure. I like that he put the vending machines on the bottom, because that's what you want. You want to have, you know, like quick access, peek in, see they have vending machines, and know that it's worth your time. And then just having like this third section here is going to lead to intrigue, which will make them go upstairs. So this one here does two things, one that I do not like and one that I do like. So the thing that I don't like is that it is facing away. I think that most of the people that are coming to shop are going to be coming from town, so you probably want to have it flipped around to face the town. But the thing that I do like is when you do finally get in there, you can see that he says exactly what he has. So he's got acid and they're 80 per. So you know what you're getting yourself into without even having to click on it. So it's great. So if someone's looking for asset, they know 80 per is a pretty good price. They're going to jump in and check your stuff out. So this is another thing that a lot of people do. I actually, I think this one's fine. They will set up this bed buff where people can go and lay down, and it kind of provides a service which makes people like your stuff. So this guy right here is a shopper. I saw him go to like each one of the places, and now he's making his way outside to take a look at those vendors as well. But I think the vendors that are inside here, especially if you have like a nice place like this with a lot of them, is probably going to get the most traction. Hey everybody, thanks for making it to the end of this video. If you like the content, please consider giving me a like and subscribe to the channel for more Once Human stuff. And don't forget, in the comments down below, let me know if I missed anything or if there's something else that you guys would love to see a new video of. Thanks again. See you guys in the next one.